Greetings, medical students of truth, logic, reason and reality. This is your doctor. In today's lab, we'll be talking about the workplace safety gap. Here we are again with the flower power Lily La La Lyons, trying to weasel her way out of telling the Australian people the truth.
I recently asked the Workplace Gender Agency, Equality Agency, a written question on notice. I asked what was the workplace safety gap, and you replied that the agency doesn't collect data on workplace safety.
Why on earth would the agency want to collect data on safety? Because doing so would expose the fact that more men are dying in order to earn that imaginary 15% pay rise.
Do you recall that?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. So, as I understand it, the agency's legislation requires it to promote and improve gender equality in employment and in the workplace.
Does that equality improve death in the workplace?
So it would seem to me, and I ask you to confirm this, that whether or not people return home from work alive and well, whether women, and the fact that women return from work to home alive and well far more reliably than men do, might be a gender equality issue in employment and in the workplace.
I'll take this one, Senator. No one gives a fuck about men not coming home. What's really important, what really matters, is not the fact that men are losing arms, legs and lives in the workplace. What's important is that women get paid more for doing less.
Is that not the case?
Senator, we collect data on six gender equality indicators that are prescribed by the Act.
Was that sex indicators or six indicators?
Does the Act prevent you from collecting data on workplace safety in relation to gender equality?
Translation, does the Act prevent you from doing your job to find out the truth?
We collect data on the six gender equality indicators, and I can read them out for you if you would like, Senator.
There's no need to get stroppy, Libby.
And currently none of those cover safety.
Why not? Why don't they cover safety? If we're trying to figure out why men get paid more than women, apparently, shouldn't we figure out why men die at a rate of 95% comparative to 5% of women in the workplace? Shouldn't we be asking why men end up in wheelchairs and hospitals missing limbs and other parts of their bodies from simply going to work? Or does none of that matter? Is all that matters that we pay more women more money for doing less? How is that equality?
We collect data on the gender composition of the workforce,
We collect data on how many women are in the workforce.
the gender composition of governing bodies or of relevant employers,
We collect data on how many women are in the management positions within those bodies.
equal remuneration between women and men,
We make sure that women get paid more for doing less.
the availability and utility of employment terms, conditions and practices relating to flexible working arrangements for employees,
The power for women to ensure that they can take shortcuts in the workplace.
to working arrangements supporting employees with family and caring responsibility,
Making sure that employers pay for child support at the expense of the employer so more women can take more time away from work at more expense to the workplace.
We collect data on the consultation that employers do with employees on
We check on the boys to make sure that when the girls complain, the boys do as they're told.
issues concerning gender equality in the workplace, and we collect data on sex-based harassment and discrimination.
We collect data to make sure that girls can dob on boys for saying hello to them in the workplace.
They're the six gender equality indicators as stated under the Act, Senator.
That was a kind of aggressive hand move there, Libby. You kind of intimidated me there with your womansplaining. Or, as one of the subscribers said, femsplain. I don't think you should femsplain at a Senate because, you know, matriarchy.
Are you prevented from doing anything else beyond that?
That's a matter for government.
So-
It's quite prescriptive as to what we collect data on.
I wonder whether if you took a greater interest in workplace safety and specifically deaths at work, of which men comprise the overwhelming majority, you may end up closing the gender pay gap because more women would be in workplaces that are currently dominated by men.
That's a good idea, but, you know, it doesn't really help the argument. We're not here about getting equality in the workplace. We hear about paying one group more than the other group. That is, we don't want women to die at the same rate as men because, well, that would be equality, and we don't want equality. What we really want is women to be paid more for doing less. That is how fourth wave feminism works, Senator.
Well, certainly BHP's example shows us that more women will work in what were traditionally male-dominated work sites with a redesign of equipment.
Translation, more women will work in tough workplaces when it's made easier.
Whatever. Whether there's a direct correlation between that and lowering the gender pay gap, I couldn't tell you, Senator.
What do you mean you couldn't tell the Senator? Libby La La Lyons, you are employed to advise the Senate on the workplace gender gap, and you're telling the Australian people that if we closed the death and workplace mutilation gap, whether or not that would make a difference to the pay gap. You make me sick to the stomach. You are a disgrace to the Senate, to the people, and to the outstanding women that are within our community. You embarrass all the amazing good women out there by bringing disrepute to every single one of them with your absolute bullshit.